Hey, 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 hey. Black excellence, black beauty, and black pride. Black power from all diasporas coincide. Progressive truth and regression eventually collide. May the beauty of the people no longer be set aside. May the black queen's grace continually mesmerize the millions who couldn't see it when looking into her eyes. And the black man's plight no longer be the disguise. Oppression, emasculation, they wanna castricize him. Take him away from the black queen, put him inside prison for slave labor, he institutionalized. Wondering on the outside, is she willing to ride? Is she willing to ride? Is she willing to fight for the love, even despite the fact that he doing time? Love that conquers all will never fade with time. If she don't choose the love that appreciates every life, his flame might get dim and he may reach.
The Urban Impact Show is sponsored by Green and Wood Media Services. Green and Wood uses digital media to help businesses, political campaigns, and organizations grow while increasing their community impact. Green and Wood Media is pleased to offer a digital media buying fellowship to train, develop, and mentor young people interested in digital media, politics, and advertising. Learn more at greenandwoodmedia.com.
Viewers, welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. I'm here with my fellow co-hosts,
Soraya, Kayla, Tiana,
and me, Miguel. So today's topic is about our favorite not our topic, but what we're going to talk about right now is our favorite historical black figures. Who are your favorites?
Mine is probably my mom, because last year she just opened up her business. She owns a restaurant called Job Experience.
I'll go. Never mind.
My Black History person is my mom. She's trying to become state of
Representative.
representative.
I'll go next. My Black History hero is probably Naomi Campbell, because she was the first ever black supermodel.
My Black History figure, my favorite is like Virgil Abloh or my mom, because I like both of their style and because I like Virgil's clothes. Okay, so I have a really weird question. What would you guys do if like someone broke into your house?
Oh.
I'll go first. I would just kind of like run away and like call the cops and then like take all my stuff in a suitcase and then just like go somewhere to a hotel and then like have the cops go to my house and like search the person. What would you do?
I would probably scream. Just scream.
Yeah.
Just scream until somebody wakes up and then call my uncle. Yeah.
Do you want to go? What would you do? Wait, do you want to go?
Well, if someone broke into my house, first up, don't ever yell. Don't call the cops, because it would already be a little bit too late. So you would probably, the best option is not to hide under a bed, because that's usually where the criminal would usually hide to find. So, not a closet. The best way is to hide downstairs or in an attic. That's the safest way to call the cops and family members.
I'd probably go out my window and I'd run as far as I can, and I'd call the cops, and once they arrest him, I'll go back to sleep.
Okay, another question. What is your favorite foods?
I don't have a favorite. I like, some. Actually, I'm not gonna like some. I like trying new things.
Trying new things? That's always good.
I don't have a favorite food. I like trying new foods.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, I haven't had it in a long time, but when I was like a couple years ago, I love sushi, because specifically the California roll, because I don't know, just something about it when you eat it, it just makes me crave more.
My favorite food is steak, and bonus points if it's Johnny steak.
That's
from Johnny's
really
Steakhouse.
good. I actually like both of those.
We do it after. Okay. How about we finish this question? Wait, what's your favorite food, real quick?
Well, my favorite food is sushi.
It's so good. For sure.
It is delicious.
Okay. Our parents.
Or you got it from your aunt.
Okay, so who are your favorite? Like, what are you guys learning in what are you guys learning in school for Black History Month?
For my school, we are having to type up at least two or one page essay. Two or one page essay about a specific person of that has made probably like fame. And we have to find another person and compare and contrast both of them.
What I'm learning is pretty much the same thing as her. Our teacher makes us choose a person, and we have to write about how they changed America and the world, their struggle, and how they made it happen. And her name's Gladly's West. Wait, did you pick anybody for yours? Or
I picked Naomi Campbell and Harriet Tubman.
I'm in sixth grade, so we do periods, but my other period is global studies, and my teacher, she made us choose two people, and I chose George Floyd and Rosa Parks, and basically the questions were, when were they born, how was their childhood, and what was their quotes. So that's what we did.
What we did, so we would read a book about 28 days of Black History Month, and we would learn about that person. We learned about Jesse Owens, Rosa Parks, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
do you guys feel like there's enough Black history in your Black history representatives in your school, or do you think they represent it enough in your school?
Not really.
I don't think so.
I meant, do they do it year round, or do they only do it in February?
They only do it in February.
Only do it in February.
Because technically my school's not supposed to.
Well, we'll be back in a minute. We're gonna take a break, but hopefully you miss us.
Bye.
The Urban Impact Show is sponsored by Green and Wood Media Services. Green and Wood uses digital media to help businesses, political campaigns, and organizations grow while increasing their community impact. Green and Wood Media is pleased to offer a digital media buying fellowship to train, develop, and mentor young people interested in digital media, politics, and advertising. Learn more at greenandwoodmedia.com.
Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. Once again, I'm Sanaya.
I'm Miguel.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Tiana.
So let's start off where we left off.
Okay, so where we left off, we were talking about, like, do we think there's enough black representation in our school?
I don't really think my school has any, like, not really. They only, like, celebrate it in February and stuff.
I think my school only, like, kind of, like, just pushes it to the side a bit. They only push it to a side, like, for the rest of the year, and then I think they like to think that they, like, that they represent Black history when they really don't. They only do it in February.
I agree with you.
I think that I don't think that my school would do it only in February. They would, but I think that they wouldn't do it because it takes up most of our reading and book club time.
I think their idea of celebrating Black history is putting, like, just, like, famous Black history people like LeBron James or just people like that on posters and stuff like that, and then they like to think that they're somehow doing good by it. Do you have anything?
So like what you were talking about, Miguel, so you know, like Kobe Bryant, that stuff. He was the famous basketball player.
It's fine. We all make mistakes.
Like all other people, they all like want to have special things, and you know, like always want to be like they have like their rights and like that stuff. Like if you were a famous singer, like if you wanted to sing but they wouldn't let you, like do they let you down? Like no, just forget what they were saying, just sing.
I have a
Tiana.
question. I want to ask who brought about Black history. Who brought a big impact into your life?
I'm gonna have to think about this for like a little bit more. So, does anybody else want to take over, or I can go.
I'll go. I want to say my uncle, because he used to do protests for Black History Month because of the George Floyd situation. So I want to say my uncle brought a big impact into my life about Black history, because I didn't really know that much until he showed me what it actually meant.
I would say like Kanye West, because I like how he's like I like how he speaks his mind, and I like how he's a designer, and I like how he's like breaking down barriers. So I'd say Kanye West.
I'd probably like say you could go. I need to think on it more.
Can you go?
Yeah, same here.
Same here for who?
For like yeah.
Why do you like him though? Like, why do you like him?
Kobe Bryant, like
Kobe Bryant. Yeah. Why do you like him?
he's a famous basketball player, and like I used to do ballet, and then I started wanting to play basketball, and then one day I just snapped and like, hey, I'm done doing ballet. Like, I'm done. I just want to play basketball. So I went to Kingdom Hoop. I played. I played, and then I went to Johnston basketball game. Yeah, and then and then I was done playing basketball for that year.
Have you thought about anything yet? Like anyone who you like or inspires you to do what you do?
Like even those people like Rosa Parks or Martin Luther King Jr.
Or even like Roblox streamers. Yeah. Like black Roblox streamers are really good. Or Twitch streamers.
I'd say Harriet Tubman because, well, no, not that. I'd say Lil Nas X because people say that, oh, you can't do this, and some people are being homophobic, but he's persevering through it and pursuing what he likes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you.
Same.
Very much so.
True.
Because a lot of people came at him for a video that he did about expressing himself, and he got a lot of hate for it.
But if someone else were to do that, then they wouldn't get as much hate. So it's kind of annoying.
Well, see, the thing is, if they wouldn't want no one to do that to them, like if they made like the same song as Lil Nas X and people came for them, they would not like it.
True. It's almost like people it's almost like people almost don't like him just because of that. But when he was kid friendly and was acting like kid friendly, they liked him. But now that he's starting to grow into his own, then it's a problem, and it always happens.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that, Tiana?
No.
Not really. Okay. So, what's another thing? Do you guys have any like who are your favorite Black musical artists?
I was just about to ask that question.
Great minds think alike.
I don't have to think about this because I don't really know. Anybody else?
I like Kid Cudi. I like his more like 2009, 2010 era music, but I like his music.
I'd probably say E40 because like I like one of my favorite songs from his probably Choices because if someone makes you mad, you could just say that everyone has choices, and that's one of the.
May I ask who is that? I'm so sorry.
He's a rapper that's like back in the day. My mother listens to him.
Is he like 80s or 90s or like 70s or 60s?
80.
Probably
90s. He's like the 90s.
Oh, okay.
I would probably say Anthony Hamilton. I like his music. I like a slow vibe music.
Is he from Hamilton, the musical?
No.
Oh.
But I love Hamilton.
Or I like the artist. I don't know her real name, but I know she goes by her. Just like her. I like her.
Okay, we'll be back. We're gonna go on a break, but we'll be back.
Bye.
Bye.
The Urban Impact Show is sponsored by Green and Wood Media Services. Green and Wood uses digital media to help businesses, political campaigns, and organizations grow while increasing their community impact. Green and Wood Media is pleased to offer a digital media buying fellowship to train, develop, and mentor young people interested in digital media, politics, and advertising. Learn more at greenandwoodmedia.com.
Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. So, about the last topic, what's your answer?
The last topic?
It was about our favorite black singer.
Well, I can't remember, but he was from Hamilton, and I loved what he was saying and doing, and he was mostly like the smart one, and Alexander Hamilton.
He's
So,
a meh. He's a meh.
I mean, Leslie Owen Hamilton. He was okay. He was kind of like the person important to this. To
Is Hamilton good?
yes, but like one of my aunts told me that there is few cuss words in there.
I've heard of that. Every time I try to watch musicals, I just fall asleep.
Eh. Like when you're just watching something and you're like,
If you don't like watch the right one, you'll fall right to sleep.
I just fall asleep with them. It just bores me.
Well, I want to say that I feel like the schools and people should start bringing Black History up more often, not just February's, like more than February's, and that's all I have to say.
I would just say that to people, mainly schools, that we're not only Black in February.
That's true. I agree with you.
We're not only Black in February. We're Black all year round.
I like to say that people who think that you're making Black history, there's something between you think, between you know. So if you don't know that you're making Black history, don't say that you are.
like if you have like a favorite person, like from a show or a movie, like from a Black History show or anything, who would it be? I mean, like, um,
Okay. Do you have any last thoughts, or do you have anything that you want to say to the viewers before you say goodbye to them about Black history or what we just talked about, not including our favorite musical artists, but just about the Black history?
I guess Black History should be reminded to everyone, like to others, to family members, even to pets.
Well, we'll see you guys later, and we just want to tell you guys that there's a legend, and our fellow parents are going to be interviewing a legend, so stay tuned for that, and we will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. We just finished a segment with our youth. Really quick, I just wanted everybody to know that the Urban Impact Show is live from the studio here in Windsor Heights. I got it. I've been getting it for the last 3 weeks. They didn't have to help me out for the last 3 weeks. The studio is available for private events. You can call or text with questions, 515-996-0326. Again, the Urban Impact Show is filmed live right here from the studio in Windsor Heights, and this space is available for private events. You could call or text with questions, 515-996-0326. We got a legend in the building, y'all. I am super excited to have him, even though Wayne takes pictures like some of the old guys with, they face all in the camera, trying to get the background. Yeah, trying to get the background. Just so y'all forewarned, I already warned Mr. Wayne Ford that I crack jokes. Please know these are all jokes. I do him and a KO the exact same way. They both gonna get these jokes, okay? So I'm excited. Dewana and Brittany, they're here to back me up. They may not back me up because last time.
Don't say I'm here to back you up.
Last time they were not on my side. They were not on my side.
We don't condone your foolishness all the time.
That's right.
That's okay. But I do want to say this though, with the fact that we're ending this month with Mr. Wayne Ford in the studio is honestly legendary. Like, this man has served in the Iowa legislature. He is one of the longest serving black legislators in this state, in the entire state of Iowa. This man has helped the community in ways that you can't even imagine. And I know sometimes, because everything, and like I said last time, everything doesn't hit the news. Sometimes you don't see the impact of these individuals, but some of this stuff that is happening right now, that is going on right now in Des Moines, is happening because of this man that is sitting right here with us. But let me stop talking so my other co-hosts can introduce themselves, and I'm gonna start with Miss Brittany and then go to Miss Dewana, and then she'll throw out our first question for the legend himself.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am Brittany Dudley, one of the hosts of the Urban Impact Show.
And I am Dewana Bradley, host of Urban Impact Show as well. And I'll get things kicked off and started because I admire Wayne Ford, Dr. Wayne Ford, in case you didn't know that either.
Oh my God, I did not know that.
He is Dr. Wayne Ford, so I want to make sure that we recognize that.
Not like the surgical doctor, y'all. I just want y'all to know, because I don't want Wayne.
Doctor.
Yeah, I don't want Wayne performing back surgery on me.
I can't. See, I'm trying to be serious over here, y'all, so... No, Dr. Wayne Ford.
Yes.
He's with us in the building. And I will just tell you, just from personal, he has truly been a blessing for me. One individual that I can call anytime, who is there to give, amazing advice, because he has been through a little bit of it all. And so I want to kick off our question and just ask you this, because it just popped in my head, is what is your greatest accomplishment? Because you have accomplished so many things in your life, and I'm sure you take some time to reflect over how God has blessed you. And so what do you feel like is your greatest accomplishment?
Well, I'm going to go back to my education, because without that, I wouldn't be here now.
Yes.
I'm from Washington, D.C., inner city. I'm a baby boomer. So when I grew up in the hood back in the 50s and 60s, I was doing bad things, robbing people, doing drugs back in D.C. But education saved my life. So I've always had a strong personality. I've always never feared nobody but God. So I'd been dead a long time ago. So what happened was I was a good football player. And although I was a 9th grade reading average, because I, still had problems spelling words now, to be candid, and I'm 70 years old. But the bottom line is I was a good athlete. And because I got a football scholarship out of Washington, D.C. in 1969 and got education, it changed everything. Because I could have used this brilliant brain God gave me to rob people, to have people hurt, to rob banks. I could have been very negative. And I may not live or die, that's the way it goes. But I could have been a legend in my own time, because I was always quick thinking. But God allowed me to gave me the blessing to get a football scholarship. Yeah. I could have went to Villanova and other schools, but I had a 9th grade reading average. And I told the scout this, get me as far away from the hood as you could, Dewana. So he put me in Rochester, Minnesota, the 5th whitest state in 1969. I was the only black on the football team my last year, and it changed the course of history in my life. Education, Dewana.
Yeah. education. That's great. Brittany?
So in light of being in Black History Month right now, who impacted you, back then, now, to kind of make some of those changes?
I'm going to give you a little negative part, then I'm going to give you a positive part.
Okay.
Frederick Douglass from Washington, D.C. When I used to rob buses as a kid, I was 13, 14 years old. Me and my group, we robbed buses.
And that was in the 60s?
Yeah, just in the 60s. Yeah.
Okay.
So Frederick Douglass' house is in Southeast Washington, D.C. Same neighborhood I grew up. Every time we walked by, because it was a bus stop right in front of his house.
Y'all robbing
We never robbed nobody in front of the bus stop. His bus stop was legendary because that was his house.
Gotcha.
So even though I was a gangster in my mind, I was a gangster with respect.
Yeah.
So Black history has played an important part to me. And when Frederick Douglass said these words, power concedes to nothing without a struggle.
Wow.
I heard that when I was young. It told me, you're not going to get it easy. Nothing's going to concede if you're not ready to risk your life or go for it. So that taught me so much early. So Frederick Douglass is my hero. And every time I go to D.C., you know what I do? I drive by the same bus stop that I could have robbed many years ago.
Still there?
The house is still there, yes. When you go to D.C., Southeast Washington, go see Frederick Douglass' home. It's on the national
registry.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You want to see that. Yes, I get excited when I think about Frederick Douglass.
I can tell you got really hyped.
Yeah. Not Robin, Frederick Douglass got you.
Yeah. Okay. Did the microphone pick that up? Because I just want to make sure that we got that. In all seriousness, though, I just want. First of all, let me apologize. Y'all can probably hear my son in the background.
Yeah. All right.
That's definitely Rob Johnson's child. Attention, please. I did say it. Sorry, I don't like you better. So I do want to say this though, Dr. Ford, you have done a lot right here in Des Moines, and really all over this state of Iowa.
Thank you.
And I know you talk a lot about your background and where you come from, but for a moment, I just want to relish in this moment of. Tell us about when you first got elected to the state legislative office as a state representative. What did that feel like when you walked into that building and got to that floor, noticing the fact that you now could make policy that really impacted and could change people's lives forever? Great question. When I looked up there, I saw my mother. And my mother came from North Carolina to here. My mother and father was not married. My mother, I was conceived in North Carolina, but my mother, because my father was married to another woman at that time, she went to D.C. and dropped me off with her sisters in 1951. So I tell people, Wayne Ford was a bastard child. Now that said, she dropped me off and came back home. So I didn't never grow up with my mother, and I miss her today. But the bottom line is, when I saw my mother, I looked up there, she was right there. The kid that she gave away to her sisters was now the 10th black man to serve in the Iowa State Legislature. I have tears thinking about it right now. She gave me away. I never was with my mother. I grew up in D.C. with my aunts. But when I looked up there and saw her, I said, job well done. I said, Ma, I'm glad you did the right thing. So Robert, I get sentimental because she saw a kid that she gave away becoming one of the most powerful human beings on the state, blacks in the state of Iowa's history. So she saw that. And my mother's dead and gone now, but I never forget how proud she was looking down at me when I took the oath. I took the oath and I was looking up to her and God at the same time. You can't make that up. And what year was that?
1996.
And you took the oath to you. So I just want to be clear for people watching. The 10th black person to step foot in the Iowa legislature out of the 100 years of the
a lot of years, Rob. A lot of years. Yes.
The 10th came in 1996, right?
Wow. That's right.
So yeah. Go ahead, DeWanda. I'm just amazed.
So I know during that time of you being at the Capitol, you did a lot of things, but one thing in particular you did that I know for sure is that you did this minority impact statement. Could you talk to the viewers a little bit about what that involved and the importance of that today?
Thank you, DeWanda. In 2003, the Sentencing Project did a report. Iowa was number 1 in the country for the incarceration of black men. And get ready for this, you all. Wow. My hometown of Washington, D.C. was number 2. I knew why D.C. was number 2. We were Chocolate City. I'm from Chocolate City. So, but Iowa, I said, you only got 25 blacks in Iowa, and 3/4 of them in jail? What's going on?
Yeah.
So again, you see my...
15 of them was in jail.
That's right. I'm saying something ain't right.
No, for real.
I'm so something right. So with my confrontive nature, I went to the Sentencing Project, located in Washington, D.C. And as I tell these stories, I want my audience to understand, if you keep your eye on the prize, you can change history. So I went there, and I confronted the guy. And I called the Mr. Mark Meyer. He retired. I said, you're a liar. I'm a state legislator from Washington, D.C., but I'm in Iowa. You didn't know they had a black legislator there, did you? I'm that black legislator. I can understand D.C. being number 2, but how in the world can Washington, D.C., Iowa be number 1? Mm-hmm. He gave me the research, and I said, my God, he's right. And he said these words, Wayne, what can you do about it? Don't ever challenge me. Mm-hmm. Only person can challenge me and get away with it is God. Any human being challenge me, I'm gonna check you out. So he challenged me, he said, what can you do about it? I said, this guy don't know who I am. I'm already the only black legislator in the 5th whitest state. I beat at a different tune. So he said, can you do a minority impact statement? Which means this, DeWanna. Mm-hmm. It means that before the governor signs the bill, he or she will look at it and say, wait a minute, if I sign this bill, more blacks are going to prison. That means before they sign it, they can make a decision. If I sign it, I can put more blacks away. Because I did that bill, Iowa became the first state in America to implement my bill, and that was in 2009. And guess what, DeWanna? Mm-hmm. Since that time, 7 more states have got it passed. And get ready for this, DeWanna. Mm-hmm. 25 states in America has tried to do what we did here in Iowa. Wow. That's legendary stuff. I'm so excited about that, DeWanna.
So how quickly, I guess after you got into office and where, how quickly did that change? How quickly did we go from number 1 to...
Oh, you smart. You got some smart people up here. My God, thank God I took my medication this morning.
Thank God.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Recently, and always check it out. Y'all can Google. If you Google the Governing magazine and the November issue, here's what they said. Since 2009, when I did that bill, Iowa used to be number 1 in the country for incarceration, but because of Representative Wayne Ford's language, we're number 7 now. So from 2008 to 2009 to 2022, about 10 years, 11, we went from number 1 to number 7. They're asking other states to implement what I did here.
And adopt it, yeah.
So I'm backing it up, Rob. Yes. You can talk good game, but you can't back it up. I don't trust anybody who can't back up what you say. You around me, anything you say around me, you better be able to back it up. Good question.
Thank you.
So everybody, thank you so much. We're going to give you a chance to share this. If y'all can't tell, it's getting good energy right now. Like, I'm about to get hype. I can't wait to come back. We're going to take a quick break. But while we're at this break, do me a favor, share this. Start telling everybody that Wayne Ford, Dr. Wayne Ford, is on the Urban Impact Show. Start to click that share button so that we can get this, so we can continue to share this out. We'll be right back right after this quick break. Thank y'all.
The Urban Impact Show is sponsored by Green and Wood Media Services. Green and Wood uses digital media to help businesses, political campaigns, and organizations grow while increasing their community impact. Green and Wood Media is pleased to offer a digital media buying fellowship to train, develop, and mentor young people interested in digital media, politics, and advertising. Learn more at greenandwoodmedia.com.
Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. Hey, yo, I know I joke around a lot, but let me tell you, I am really excited to have Dr. Wayne Ford in our studio today. This is some energy that you don't get every day, right? And this doesn't happen every day. You don't get an opportunity to interview legends. When they talk about Black history in 2062, and they're talking about the Urban Impact Show, DeWanna, when Sanaya and her team are running the Urban Impact Show, they're going to be able to say that we interviewed Dr. Wayne Ford back in 2022, even though he was doing what he was doing in 1969. Yeah. So I'm just excited. Now, Dr. Ford, I want to ask this question because obviously you've done a lot, you've impacted a lot. There's a lot happening right now in the state of Iowa, in this country, really all over the world with Russia and Ukraine. There's a lot happening right now, you know? Yeah. How do you feel? Like, voting rights has been under attack. Healthcare has been under attack. Public education has been under attack. How do you feel about what's going on right now?
I want to give some love out to Miss Jones. I want to give some love out to Miss Jones from Waterloo, who did that 1619 project. Again, people say they make jokes about Iowa, but she's from Iowa, and she's changed the course of history. CRT, critical race theory, it came from 1619. I said Waterloo, I didn't say D.C., I didn't say Chicago, I didn't say Los Angeles. I said this Pulitzer Prize winner in my hometown of Washington, D.C. right now, because the University of North Carolina did not want to give her tenure. So she went to Chocolate City at Howard University, and now she's a professor there. But she's from Waterloo, and she said when she was growing up in Iowa, all these racist things going on, she said, if I ever get educated, I'm going to make sure my people know. Yeah. She did the 1619 book, y'all know what I'm talking about, and it's changed the course of history. 39 states have already said they're going to change the way they teach people because the pressure that book them put on everybody. Politically, 1619, Iowa was one of the first states that supported that far-right education thing. And again, I want to make a connection. It's called the golden rule. He who got to go and she rules. Democrats out there, I'm a Democrat. If you're mad about what's going on, then vote. I made my whole history about voting. Brown and black, forms of America. All the stuff I've done. Google me if you got some time. If you don't like what's going on, next time vote. Yeah. We don't vote, and then we lay back and say, what's wrong? Yeah. I was up there in the majority and the minority for 10 years on Capitol Hill. 10 years. They called me the amendment king because I knew how to make amendments. I made a difference when I was only black up there. Don't play the race card with me. If you're going to do something, you're going to do it regardless of what the odds are against you. So again, I look at Iowa, I look at 1619, I look at that lady, I look at all these things that's changing around us. And I see you was out there, you and that Kale and all that stuff. And I love those pictures. I took pictures. I sent to my friends back in the hood. I said, this, the old brother Kale's like me, but look at the younger brothers around him. They're willing to take a bullet for him. Yeah. And you could have took a bullet. Yeah. I've been around. Yeah. Now that said, that's what we got. That was real. Yes, it was real. And people say, wait, you got that going in Des Moines, Iowa? Yes, we do. Because a black in Des Moines is no different than a black in Chicago. Yeah. So again, I admire you all, but you got to do something we didn't do. We meant well, we fought in Vietnam. My friends died in Vietnam, but we didn't do something. We did not vote the way we should vote. And your generation is not doing too much better. You got to vote if you don't like what's going on. I know it's a politician.
Before DeWanna jumps in, I just want to mention the fact that elections have consequences. And I want you all to understand that who sits on our school board, all the way to who sits in the president's office, is based upon when you show up and vote. If you want funding for your school, if you want funding to get your street fixed, if you want funding for a new grocery store, all of that is derived from a policy. And the policy is what rules the game. We can show up and protest all we want, but if we don't show up to the polls and exercise our right to vote, then we still will be out there protesting every single year until we get the right people in the right place. Yeah. My bad. Go ahead, DeWanna.
No, that's true. Wayne, I just want to talk a little bit. You know, you have got a wealth of information to share with individuals. You have gone through things that people know about and they don't know about. And I know that you are putting a book together. So talk to everyone a little bit about when they can expect that, what that's all about. We're really excited to read your story. So share a little bit about that.
Yeah, Looking from the Ground Up is the name of my book. Because when I was a young cat in D.C., and there's a story about this, everybody can connect to this. The greatest power you got is within. I mean, my hero has always been God, number one, and me, the second.
But he lives in you.
That's my point. I never feared or looked at nobody different. White, black, green, or blue, you're equal to me. So my book is based off this premise. When I was a young kid, I was walking down the street with my cousin. I fell down. It's funny, follow with me. I fell down eating an ice cream cone. I'm laying flat on the ground. I'm 7 years old. I'm in the hood. I can remember like it yesterday. I'm flat on the ground. The ice cream is hard, just like I'm doing this. This is godly, man. Just like an ice cream cone. Stay with me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And back then, we had all hard ice cream. Actually, it wasn't soft back then. I'm talking about back in the 60s or 50s. I'm laying down. I'm licking the ice cream cone. My cousin said, Wayne, get up. In my mind, since how strong my personality, I'm 6, 7 years old. I ain't getting up. Because I was still licking the ice cream. It was not melting. And I said, I'm not getting up. Wayne, what's wrong with you? Get up. I didn't move. Because to me, I can still lick the ice cream and still talk to you. So it's called Looking from the Ground Up. And the reason why I call it that is because you make your own rules. And you can 6, 7. I see your baby back there.
Yeah. Mr. Eli.
And yes, already calling shots. Already hearing things, hearing your father's voice right now.
He's running the show.
That's what I'm saying. So it's called Looking from the Ground Up. Looking from the ground means that you can start anywhere in life. You can be a bastard child. I was voted in 1969, get ready for this, some of y'all, least likely to succeed in life. My high school had 2,000 people.
Wow.
My senior class had 1,500 people. I'm in the hood in D.C. 1,600 people, 1,300. They voted me in the 12th grade, least likely to succeed in life. That's 1969. I'm 70 years old now, and I probably succeeded more than anybody in my class. So even when they call you out, even when you're robbing, you're doing drugs, and you're robbing a store, and you're out your mind, you go there and say, get me out this, I got a lead chocolate sick, I'm gonna kill somebody or get killed. God bless me, took me to Minnesota, and look what I'm doing. I'm affecting the world. Fear no one, the voice tone's still to change. I don't want to assimilate, I like being black. So don't tell me what you can't do.
Fear no man that bleed. I will say this before Brittany jump in. Wayne has always stood 10 toes down. And whether you like it or not, this is who you gonna get. And it's gonna be Wayne Ford. And this is what I respect about him. And years ago when I first got into being active in our community, I remember talking to Wayne, and he probably doesn't even remember this, but I remember talking to Wayne and a KO. And I remember telling them thank you publicly on Facebook one day, because in order for people like me to even have a pathway to walk on right now, it was laid in gravel and blood by these guys.
Have a voice.
Like for real. In order for me to have the minuscule of influence that I have right now, and that I'm responsible for, right? That the path that I'm on was paved by these guys. And they always talk about the shoulders that we stand on and the people that we look to, and to be real, that's real with them, right? If they hadn't done what they had did, ain't no way I would even have the influence that I have right now. Yeah. I met with 200 white pastors, Dr. Ford, the other day on Zoom. 200 white pastors in Iowa. All right. 200 white pastors, right? Yes. All sitting there looking me in my face, looking for direction on what they can do. Not to look like white saviors, but to be partners with the African American community, with the struggle that black folks go through. And hear this, policy making. They said, which senator can we call? Whose campaign can we help fund? Where do we go to make sure that this policy is enacted in this city? And I'm talking about, y'all, from Clinton, Iowa, to Potawatomi County, to all the way down to Red Oak, over to Lamoni, up to Des Moines, over to Davenport. These pastors were all over the state. 200 white pastors. And that wouldn't have been possible That wouldn't have even been possible had these guys not opened that door in the first place, right? And that ain't me kissing no butt, because I ain't never got to say nothing on me. And most of y'all know me by now. I say what I want to say. And I've earned that right, and I'm careful with that because of these guys. And now I can say what I want to say freely. They would get their heads bust for saying what they really felt or what they really thought. But now, because of their fight, because of what they went through, I can say what I want to say freely, march freely, do what I want to do freely. And I'm not just talking, I don't mean to make it selfish about me, but I'm also talking about the fact that because of their work, like I just want to beat this into those who are watching, because of their work, and this is why we gotta honor these people, and not because of all of these extra stuff that y'all be putting on social media, but because of the work that they put in. Do y'all understand? Like, I don't even know how to explain it sometimes. My niece is going to benefit from the fact that Wayne sat in the Iowa legislature at night. She wouldn't even thought about it. She wasn't even twinkling somebody's eye in 1996. Now, granted, I was only 8, but granted, I was only 8 at the time. But this is some real stuff. So go ahead. I know we're running out of time, and I want to get back to Wayne for his final thoughts. But go ahead.
So, Dr. Ford, we talked a lot about your childhood, your upbringing, the work that you've done here in Iowa. Just for our viewers, what are some things that you would want to leave them with, about you, about, the 5 things that you've done, but what are 3 things that you would want to leave our viewers with?
Great thing. No one lives forever, so my legacy will be around long after I'm dead.
Yeah.
But I tell people this from Iowa, because I was born in a kind of different kind of tune. And the one I know I'm getting ready to say is pretty heavy. And I pushed the care work for me. Most of your current Isaiah Knox, most of the people who are leaders now came from me. I came from Evelyn Davis and Larry Collett. The beat goes on. But I told DeWanna, watch out for us carpetbaggers. I'm from Washington, D.C. I'm educated. DeWanna's from Des Moines, Iowa. She's educated. But the bottom line, I watch, if you look at the majority of not just black people, but the majority of white people, the majority of people who are making decisions in Des Moines or the state of Iowa are not even from Iowa. We get our degrees from Drake University. We get our degrees from University of Iowa in Iowa State. And we say, you know what? We got a gold mine.
Yeah.
I've been there half a century. But I pushed people out. I told DeWanna this. She can't name 10 or 20 people from Des Moines, Iowa, who are leaders who are born here. She get 8 or 9 if she's lucky. So my greatest thing I can leave is that it's okay to give what I do. Okay, yeah, I'm in the history books. You can Google Wayne 4 and you've been reading for a whole week. You think I'm lying? Try it. Now, but bottom line is this. But since I'm 70 years old now, what can I do? I can give back to Des Moines. When I came here, I almost started crying to see these young people up here front. That was Wayne. They got more confidence. Stay with me. They got more confidence at their age than what I had. And I'm a bad man. But I'm going to say it again. They got more confidence at their age. I couldn't be on TV at that age. So you want to make sure that you get the people from Des Moines. I knew you out of Chicago. I got that. But the bottom line is we want to make sure that those from Des Moines, that we give to them what was given to us.
Yes.
Final thoughts, Brittany?
I think that this, like the energy in this room after he came up was awesome. Like, I think that he's a legend, a living legend. We oftentimes read and hear about these legends. We don't get to sit and talk with them. So I'm just grateful that you were able to be a part of our show today.
Thank you.
Final thoughts, DeWanna?
Yeah, Wayne's my friend. So
you get this all the time?
Yeah, I get this all the time from Wayne. He pours into me, and I believe that I pour into him. But I love to surround myself with people who are, I call them mature and wiser than I am, because I know there's things I've been called to do, and I need that kind of energy constantly to keep me focused as I'm going on this journey.
Absolutely.
So what you've all experienced this evening, I experience often with Wayne, because he's just someone I've been able to latch onto. And so I just want to encourage you all to find someone that you can latch onto. I think that's key We don't know how to do this on our own. I don't know how to lead in my own strength, but I know how to lead because of the person that I'm sitting next to. So go find yourself a Wayne Ford or an Akeo or a Mary Wells or a Terry Caldwell Johnson. Like, these are people who have done this. They've done it. They've fallen. They've got back up. But the one thing they always do is persevere. And that's what we have to learn how to continue to do, is to persevere through it also. Wayne, I know the folks might call you Pt.4, but Wayne, I appreciate you being here with us today for sharing just a little bit of what people will see in a greater book that comes out soon. You can get his whole entire story, but I think you all probably have been touched just by the little bit that he has said today. So I really thank you for being on the show with us today.
Well, I was in Los Angeles for a long time, so I said Wayne Ford, but it could be the beginning of a franchise. Stay tuned.
Well, listen, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning into the Urban Impact Show. I honestly know I say this all the time. I know I joke around a lot, but honestly, this was a blessing.
Yeah.
This was a real blessing, and I mean that. I mean that for the sense of not just for these people in the room who had the chance to experience this energy firsthand, but even for you who are watching, who felt this energy through the lens of whatever it is that you're watching. I pray that you were motivated to be you. If you got anything out of this interview, I pray that you were motivated to be you. Wayne never stopped being Wayne this entire time. Dr. Ford is a legend in his own right. He's a legend to me. He's a legend to this show. And honestly, we're grateful for his impact.
Yes.
We say all the time, especially during this month, we can talk about Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and Fannie Mae.
Help me. My mind.
Yes.
Fannie Mae. Gotcha.
We can talk about these individuals and we can write about them in history. But history, Black history, is being written right now. This is Black history.
Yes.
And they will talk about this 10, 20, and 50 years from now.
Yes.
This will forever be on the internet. So be careful what you post on the internet, because this will forever be there. To our viewers, please know that we love you, we appreciate you, you are valued, and you are important. Thank you for watching the Urban Impact Show. We'll see you next week.
And power to the people.
Dr. Wayne Ford.